So hello everyone, welcome to Sedimentary Pathology Lecture 5. Wish you all a very happy Independence Day. So we'll start this new day with a new chapter which is sedimentary textures. So in sedimentary textures as we will learn, so the first thing that we will take into account is grain size. Now in today's lecture as we go through, first thing we will learn is grain size scales of clastic sediments and different scales and the necessity of having grain size scale. Why do we have the term, what is the necessity of grain size and the scales? And the second thing we'll learn is different grain size measurement techniques, and the third are limitations of each and every technique. So as we start today, first we'll learn about grain size. So as we define what is a grain size first. So grain size of sedimentary clastic rocks it's the most characteristic properties of that rock, and it is a very important feature to describe a sedimentary clastic rock. And what does the grain size tells us? The grain size tells us about the environment and the weathering history and the different techniques of movement the grains have gone through. Okay, so the grain size itself tells us all these things. Okay, so how it tells us we will learn as we proceed to the end of our lecture. So first we will learn about grain size. What do we understand by this term grain size first? So the definition I gave about grain size was it is a very important characteristics of sedimentary clastic rocks. So sedimentary clastic rocks are composed of sediments. So each sediment here we will take up as a grain. So sedimentary grain size, if we apply our common sense, it simply means the diameter of that grain. The size is actually the diameter. Okay. Now, if it would have been so easy, then there would have been no confusion that what is the grain size are diameters, so measure diameter of each grain and things are done. But diameter to तब होगा जब grain size would have been spherical, each and every grain would have been spherical. But as we have learned in our previous lectures that grain size are mostly non-spherical, right? So how to measure the grain size of non-spherical grains in nature? So people suggested, what we'll do is like we'll calculate the volume of the grain, and the volume, whatever volume comes, that volume spheres, the diameter of that same volume spheres will be the size of that grain. So different techniques were suggested, and similarly people like if ellipsoid is a grain similar to like this, we'll calculate the volume of this, and then we'll calculate the sphere which can be of the same size, and then the diameter of that sphere will be the diameter of the grain. So in nature, the grain size vary differently. Like we have grain size from 0.002 mm, which is the grain size of clay, to grains as big as 25 centimeters. So if the grain size is so enlarged, so it was necessary that each grain should be categorized into particular sizes and they should be named accordingly. So it so happened that in 1914, I guess if I am right, yeah, in 1914, Wood and Wentworth gave a scale which is known as the Wood and Wentworth scale. Now what is that Wood and Wentworth scale? This scale divides consecutive classes of grains sizes into millimeter scales, such that each number into which everything is divided is a multiple of 2. Like 2, the second category will be 4, then the second category will be 8. So everything is a multiple of 2. So the multiple of 2 on the as we go bigger or into the bigger size, and each particle will be divided by 2, like multiple of 2 and divided by 2 on the smaller size. So it was something like this. I do boulders, then it was cobbles, size is 256 over here, then followed by 64, then 4, 2, 1 by 16, 1 by 256, and all this is in millimeter. Clear? Now, what is the meaning of it? So, they classified the grains into boulders, cobble, pebble, granule, sand, silt, and clay. Now, please keep one thing in your mind very clear, that sand is a grain size. Sand has got nothing, absolutely nothing to do with its composition. Okay, similarly, silt and clay are also grain sizes. Right? काफी बार what we say that quartz grains को will say sands. So sand has nothing to do with the composition. Sand is simply a size. Okay. So what is anything below 1 by 256 mm is clay. 1 by 256 to 1 by 16 is silt. So these are the ranges. इस ranges में अगर वो आता है in millimeter, it is called granule, pebble, cobble, etc. So this is about the Wentworth scale, but this scale was a bit confusing because maximum particles we have in nature are from sand to silt, and these measurements were given by 1 by 16, 1 by 256. So it so happened that the phi scale came into play. Okay, now what is a phi scale? A very useful modification of the Uden-Wentworth scale was done, and how it was done? That it was done by the scientist called Krumben. I think I am spelling it right, yeah. So it was a useful modification. It was not a different scale, but a bit modified version of the Uden-Wentworth scale. A useful modification of the Uden-Wentworth scale is the logarithmic phi scale. Okay, so number one is the logarithmic phi scale. All sizes in Uden-Wentworth scale can be transformed into the power of 2. As you know, his scale was 2, 4, 8, everything was a multiple of 2, or 1 by 256 was 256 is also multiple of 2. So what he did is what he transformed into a power of 2. So what he did was multiple of 2. So I'm just adding W was transformed power of 2. So how it was done? Like 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, everything like that it was done. So how it was done? What was the formula? Please remember this important formula. Phi. Now the grain size was described in phi, not in millimeters. Phi is equal to minus log base 2 d, where d is the diameter in the Uden-Wentworth scale, right? So for example, if d is equal to 4 in Uden-Wentworth scale, that is something between 2 to 4, that is granule range में आता है, so it will be right. So phi would be what? Phi will be minus log, this 2 will come here, and log 2 base 2 is 1. So phi will be minus 2, right? So one thing you see कि d is 4, so phi is minus 2. So as the size increases, the actual diameter increases, the phi size is decreasing. For example, if this is 8, so this will be 2 to the power 3. So phi will be 3. So phi will be minus 3. So as the diameter is increasing, the phi size is decreasing. But as the diameter is decreasing, so what will happen? The file size will increase. Okay, so this was done. Why was it done? Because maximum the file size will decrease और file size will become positive. अभी तो negative है, पर जैसे जैसे particles increase होते जाएंगे, decrease होते जाएंगे diameters, this file will become positive. So why was it done? Because in the Newton Wordsworth scale, I told you that it was very complicated. You know, most of the grains in nature we get is sand silt clay. So sand silt clay का size था 1/256, 1/16, and at that period of time, remember, it is something around 1914. Computational techniques were very difficult, right? So that is why what they did is they introduced this negative sign. Okay, so ये negative sign की वजह से what will happen? You know, it is a rule कि जब इस 2 से 1/256 and all these things are lesser than the base 2, so then this minus will become positive. So that is the reason he chose a negative scale over here, because he wanted to bring back the sand, silt, clay particles into positive sign. So when this base 2 से ये d जब कम होता है, so ये negative sign positive हो जाता है. So that is why he wanted to bring the sand, silt, clay size into a very comfortable range. That is why he used the negative logarithm of base 2. So I hope this is clear. So now we will learn about the measurement of grain sizes. So सबसे easy measurement of grain size किसका होगा? Of course for sand to gravel का grain size measurement is very easy. Okay, so I hope you are clear. We are clear with the phi Gromman scale is. It is a logarithmic phi scale. It is a evolution of the Wooden-Wentworth scale. How it was transformed. Wooden-Wentworth scale transformed into power of 2. Okay, so 2 to the power 2. So this is the formula. Phi is equal to minus log base 2 of the diameter. So as the real diameter increases, the phi value will decrease. So that is why in sand, silt, clay the phi value is maximum. Okay, and it is also positive because base 2 है and diameter जब 2 से कम है, that is 1/16 and all these things, this value will become positive. And it was done only to avoid computational difficulties in that period of time, right? So next topic is measurement. अब ये सब तो हो गया, scales done. Now we will learn what are the measurement technique of grain size. So first we will learn about easiest is the calculating the grain size of gravel to sand. Okay, so measurement of sand and gravel grains are done by means of mechanical sieving. Now what is sieving? Sieving is a very easy procedure. What we usually see is, what is a sieve? A sieve is a channi, what we call in Hindi. So you must have seen, you know, in construction sites there is always a sieve through which they divide the higher sand into the finer sand. They pass it through a sieve. Similarly, what we use sieve for mechanical sieves for measurement of grain sizes, which range between granules to sand size. Now, what are sieves? If you define sieves, sieves are sieves are screens, and the screens are ऐसा नहीं कि जो you go to the market and you buy a sieve and then you are done. The sieves have a standard size, and that size is decided by ASTM, which is known as the American Society of Testing Material. So ASTM has created standard sieve sizes. Okay, this is the sieve size, this is the mesh size 200, and इसमें अगर particles they get stuck, so they are in the size range from this to this. So everything we have a very nice chart which I will send you, or I will discuss in the doubt classes, and you can also go through Sandbox or pick up any book, you will find this size chart. Okay, so there is a very beautiful size chart that ASTM has decided, and through keeping in mind that size chart, we do mechanical sieving. Now, how mechanical sieving is done? We take a variety, like many sieves, like this is a sieve, below that we'll keep another sieve, and below that we'll keep another. ऐसे कर करके there are n number of sieves that we fit into each other. So obviously this sieve will have the maximum size and this will have the least. The size of this sieve will go on decreasing. Okay. So first what we will do is, the technique is weighing the sample. Okay. First we will put the sample here, pre-weighed sample will put on this sieve, the first sieve. Now with help of anything, it can be mechanical, that you just shake the bunches of sieves which you have kept one after the other in their size ranges, provided the top one has the maximum size and the down one has the least size. Okay, now you have to shake it, either you do it mechanically or help of some machine. So what will happen, the sediment will start passing and settle like this. Okay, now you tell me what we do is, what is the technique. For example, इस ये sieve है जो काफी बड़ा है, तो जो सबसे बड़े पार्टिकल होंगे that will get stuck in the sieve. Okay, and then the rest will pass. फिर ये वाला जो है, इसमें थोड़े और छोटे पार्टिकल स्टार्ट होंगे उससे बड़े वाले, और बाकी जो छोटे हैं ऐसे ऐसे करके यहाँ पे जो सबसे फाइनर पार्टिकल, the finest of all the particles which get stuck in the last sieve. Then what we do, we separate out the sieves and then weigh each sieve, weigh sediments in each sieve. Now you remember हर एक sieve का there is a particular range of size. Like in this sieve, for example 4 to 2 mm particles जो है इसमें आएंगे 2 से 0. It's just an example, will get stuck in this. So we will weigh each sieve, तो मुझे पता चल जाएगा कि कौन से size range में कितना which size range has what amount of sample stuck, right? Then what we will do is, for example, the total samples were 10 grams and its sieve में somewhere around 0 point or for example 1 gram, let me make it easy, 1 gram sample is stuck in this sieve. So इसमें कितना percentage, what is the percentage of this size range? 4 to 2. So 4 to 2 mm size range में है 1 by 10 grams multiplied by 100. What is the percentage? That is only 10% of sediments are in the size range 4 to 2 mm. Clear? So this was just an example. The sieves के sizes कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. So we have the size ranges of the sieve. So when we weigh and divide that weight of the sediment stuck in each sieve by the total sediment which we pre-weighed before sieving, and then what we get, the percentage of sediment of each size ranges, right? Now the lower limit of grain size distribution for this technique is 0. I'll just try to weigh. 0.04 to 0.03 mm. So this is the size where below this size there is this technique cannot be applied. ये लास्ट sieve साइज है, इसके नीचे सीव्स मिलते भी नहीं है, और इस साइज रेंज में इसके बियॉन्ड यू डोंट अप्लाई दिस टेक्निक. नो व्हाई यू डोंट अप्लाई दिस टेक्निक? इसके बियॉन्ड what will happen? The finer grain particles have one kind of forces that I have discussed many times when I was discussing previous chapters, are their cohesive nature, right? So cohesive nature की वजह से this technique will fail, because what will happen? They will stick into each other and they'll give you false reading. For example क्या होगा? बहुत सारा क्रम्स हो गए, वो शायद अपने से बड़े साइज की सीड में स्टक हो जाए एंड यू विल गेट अ वेरी फॉल्स रिजल्ट. ओके, सो व्हाट विल डू ग्रेन्स फाइनर देन दिस. उसके लिए हम क्या टेक्निक अप्लाई करते हैं, वी हैव ऑलरेडी लर्नड इट. दैट इज वी स्टडी देयर सेटलिंग वेलोसिटी using Stokes law. So for silt and so all this were from gravel and sand, gravel to sand, right? Now we will study about silt and clay, which we have already studied in the previous classes in detail about Stokes law, about fine silt and about these things. Silt and clay fraction. Okay, so in the view of measurement are done by the method most of which depends on the settling velocity of the particles by Stokes law. Now what is settling velocity depends on? Depends on diameter का square. So once what we do is एक measuring, we take a measuring cylinder and what in that we will measure the settling velocity. You know everything like कैसे settling velocity measure करते हैं. We shake that particular पूरा sample को we will just disturb it and then allow the particles to settle. So we know that this particle, ये जो particles हैं at particular interval will come at this level. All these charts are there, so we pick sample from there and then we measure the weight and again वो pre-weigh करके उस weight को करके and then we decide the percentage. So वो settling velocity जो है हम लोगों को d squares के साथ related है, so हम settling velocity measure कर लेते हैं and then we will that is how we get the diameter. Now अभी this was the old technique. Okay, now there are n number of techniques because this technique was very mechanical. So nowadays we have machines like this was Stokes. So you have to remember Stokes law. Why? Because they are cohesive in nature. So I'm not teaching you silt and clay fraction का size and details because go through the previous lecture I have mentioned each and everything. Stokes law में कैसे हम उसको निकालते हैं, कैसे करते हैं, everything is there in the previous lecture. So in case you have doubt, you can ask me in the doubt class. So cohesive nature की वजह से we cannot calculate through mechanical sieving. So that is why we calculate to Stokes law. What is Stokes law? The settling velocity is directly proportional to diameter square, and that is how we know the diameter. But this process of mechanically doing each particle का silt का अलग, clay का अलग, fine silt का अलग, it is a bit difficult and tedious. So nowadays we have machine which is called LPSA, laser particle size analyzer, which through lasers will create lasers and उसके deviation से it will calculate what percentage is clay, what percentage is silt. And then there are hydrometers. So the working is out of scope of your syllabus, but if you are interested, then you can type in Google or go to a laser particle size analyzer website and learn ki how they calculate grain size using lasers. So these are the two techniques. Now these were about whatever I discussed about gravels and sand and clay and silt. They all were unconsolidated. But अगर हमने एक rock में एक consolidated rock में we have to calculate the grain size. How shall we do it? वो rock तो consolidated है. So the only technique. So this is about clay and silt. Now we'll go to consolidated sedimentary rock. So measurement in rocks. So rocks में how do we do it? We do it in the thin section. Okay. So a rock is consolidated and we do it in microscopic thin section. Okay. So what we do is microscopic thin section also there are certain things that we cannot calculate the size of clay size and silt size sediment in microscope, but bigger sizes that is gravel to sand we can calculate. how we जो माइक्रोस्कोप के अंदर आपको ग्रेन्स ऐसे दिखते हैं, सो उसका डायमीटर कैलकुलेट करके यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द grain size. Like when you're working in microscope, you have that so in the software you have a facility where you can calculate the maximum diameter, and that will be the diameter of the grain. But one more thing you have to take into caution, this is not perfect. Why? Because we don't know at what angle this thin section was taken. For example, a grain rock में एक ग्रेन जो था वो ऐसे था, लेकिन जब थिन सेक्शन लिया गया तो उसका मैक्सिमम डायमीटर ये है. अगर थिन सेक्शन ऐसे लेते तो ठीक था, बट व्हाट हैपेंड इफ द थिन सेक्शन इज टेकन लाइक दिस, उसका डायमीटर विल गिव अ फॉल्स डायमीटर, राइट. वो 2D में कैसा दिखेगा, ऐसा. बट इफ यू वुड हैव टेकन दिस अलोंग दिस, it would have looked like this. So this is why if we are doing grain size measurement of rocks, it is not always correct. So these are the limitations of each and every techniques, and here we are finished with